say that it's hard to keep up with the evolution of AI is an understatement. And if you're still marveling at the detailed and nuanced responses that the likes of ChatGPT are capable of, then you're way behind the curve. Let's get you up to speed. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Tech It Out. I'm Nikita Singh. And for those who came in late, we've put together a brief history of AI. From AI agents, advanced robotics, and a mind-reading device, we'll circle back to a decidedly human issue: women in technology. Can AI read my mind? I'd be more concerned if another person can read my mind using AI. Jokes apart, when it comes to AI, nothing seems too far-fetched these days. But this next story is less about AI and more about humanity. Here's a story that sounds like science fiction, but isn't. It's about AI, but it's not dystopian.
Researchers in Sydney have built an AI-powered decoder that translates brain signals into words. Using sensors embedded on a wearable electroencephalogram cap, this experimental device detects the brain's electrical activity. That information is conveyed to a monitoring unit on which a deep learning AI decoder interprets and translates the signals into words. A large language model is then used to refine the decoded text and correct possible errors. The final selection of words are then displayed on the monitor.
Spoon.
The model is in early stages of development. It's been trained on a small set of words and sentences to simplify the process of recognizing each word. The concept of brain-computer interface isn't new. There are a number of systems in development that connect the human brain directly to machines.
In simplest terms, a brain-computer interface is a device that senses brain activity, specifically your intention to move your hand, and sends that information out of the head and gets translated so that it can drive a computer.
The most famous example is Elon Musk's Neuralink, that uses a tiny chip implanted directly into the brain through a surgical procedure. The Neuralink chip has been successfully implanted on 3 individuals who are able to control devices like cursors or video games with just their thoughts.
We currently have clinical trials in the US for a product that we call telepathy, which allows users to control phone or computer purely with their thoughts. And not only have we launched this clinical trial, but we also have an approval to launch this trial in Canada, UK, and the UAE.
Very simply put, what the Neuralink device does right now is it allows you to control devices simply just by thinking. Now, to put that a bit more concretely, I'm about to play a video of our first user. His name is Noland, if you remember from DJ Section. And what Noland is doing is he's looking at a normal off-the-shelf MacBook Pro. And with his Neuralink device, as you're going to see, he's going to be able to control the cursor simply with his mind, no eye tracking, no other sensors. And what's special about this particular moment is this is the first time someone is using a Neuralink device to fully control their cursor.
It's very exciting stuff, and I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I'm happy that they chose me.
Similarly, US-based Paradromics is developing a BCI system called Connexus, which uses a microelectrode array implanted beneath the skull. This device is designed to read neural activity with high precision and is aimed at restoring speech and movement in patients with severe neurological disorders. In comparison, the system being developed in Sydney is entirely non-invasive. A wearable EEG cap to detect brain waves and an external AI unit to translate them into text without any surgery or implants. The results so far? Not perfect, but promising. The AI correctly identified the target word about 75% of the time. Researchers are now aiming for 90% accuracy, a major leap for a device that relies on brain waves alone.
As scientists, we look at a medical condition and we look at what function has been affected by that medical condition. What is the need of the patient? We then address that unmet need through technology to restore that function back to what it was. After that, the sky's the limit.
While all 3 BCIs have a common goal, The non-invasiveness and simplicity of the one being developed at the University of NSW makes it the most compelling prospect. The implications could be life-changing for stroke survivors, those with speech difficulties or paralysis. It's not hard to imagine wearable devices capable of translating thoughts into silent commands into augmented reality displays, or even interface that allows silent, thought-based communication.
Imagine a robot that never takes a break, not even to charge. In a major leap for industrial automation, a new humanoid robot from China can swap its own batteries within minutes without any human help. It is designed to work around the clock and could be a real game changer on factory floors. Let's take a closer look.
When we think of robots today, we think of smart machines, from chatbots to humanoids, transforming how we work and live. The most impressive gains from robotics have come on factory floors. Robots deployed on production lines have been able to mechanize processes that require precision and repeatability, with obvious gains in productivity. While they may not need to rest, robots too need downtime. To recharge, no pun intended. Well, battery charging downtime has been one of the biggest bottlenecks in automation. But there's a new humanoid on the block, and it takes matters into its own hands. A Shenzhen-based company, Ubitech, has unveiled the world's first humanoid robot that can autonomously charge its own batteries. At the core of the Walker S2 robot is a game-changing feature, the world's first hot-swappable autonomous battery replacement system. It allows the robot to change its batteries within 3 minutes without shutting down or requiring human assistance.
Previously, a major drawback of robots was their limited operation hours, often only around 4 hours. The battery swapping technology effectively extends the continuous operation time. Otherwise, they have to pause for charging and then come back to continue work, but the production line can't afford to stop. Therefore, this technology makes it possible for robots to work continuously, which means that humanoid robots can be standard equipment on production lines and in factories.
According to the Chinese media, the industrial robot is capable of detecting how much power it has left and decide whether it's best to swap out one of the batteries or charge based on the priority of its tasks. Now, this makes the Walker S2 capable of running autonomously, indefinitely without a break. Humanoid robots have become commonplace in automotive and electronics industries. Now, these are typically used for repetitive, physically demanding jobs. The robots can keep working on these tasks without a break.
Companies are now turning to smarter manufacturing process. In industrial production, tasks such as moving, polishing, welding and spraying, along with heavy lifting and palletizing in the automotive industry, are often repetitive and labor-intensive. So we use robots to replace labor force in these work.
The humanoid robot market is booming. According to a report released at the 2024 World AI Conference in Shanghai, China's humanoid robot market has already crossed 2.76 billion yuan this year, and that is around $380 million. And by 2029, well, it's expected to expand nearly 30 times, hitting over $10 billion. As robotics becomes more advanced, humanoid robots are evolving past prototypes and into real-world jobs. They are already transforming factories. The service sector is next. One day, and that day is not too far, when we'll have humanoids helping us out at home. With artificial intelligence already empowering them with cognition, advanced capabilities to move and perform tasks, and now the capability of swapping their own batteries, humanoids are on a roll.
Big tech. Never before has one industry wielded so much power over the world. The tech industry doesn't just build apps and devices. It shapes how we communicate, how we learn, how we work, and increasingly, how we think. And that's why underrepresentation of women in tech affects all of us.
There are not enough women in STEM. There are not enough women in AI. There are not enough women in quantum, not enough women in space. And I do think when it comes to to the data, the algorithms. We need to have more women at the table.
The tech industry is thriving. According to Gartner, an American research and advisory firm, global IT spending is estimated to reach $5.43 trillion in 2025, a 7.9% increase compared to 2024. However, the underrepresentation or the lack of women in the tech world is a concerning topic. According to a 2024 Global Gender Gap report by the World Economic Forum, women represent just 28.2% of the tech workforce globally. The report further estimates that, going by the current rate, it would take around 134 years to achieve gender parity in the tech sector.
If we continue at the current pace, true gender equality in economic life, in leadership, in safety, will remain generations away. And I know that we all agree that this is unacceptable.
The existence of gender inequality within the tech sector can be attributed to several factors. First, literacy rate plays a major role. According to Statista, an online data gathering and visualization platform, globally, men have a higher literacy rate than women. The global adult male literacy rate is about 90.6%, while the female rate is just under 84.1%. This gap persists, particularly in low-income countries where the disparity can be even wider. Secondly, even when women achieve higher levels of education, the number of females entering the STEM field, that is, the study of science, technology, engineering and maths, is comparatively low, leading to millions of women missing out on the opportunity to participate in some of the most innovative and exciting jobs of the future.
Where they accept leadership of women when they want a manifestation of mission, if they want execution end-to-end, if they want something, do expenses and manage subordinates and manage the team of whatever the working group, they accept leadership of women. But when in terms of policy making, financial policies, the statistical analytics of the company, industry or their product, there they don't accept.
Did you know that on an average, a man working in the tech field earns $15,000 more than his female counterpart in the same role? This shocking figure is from a Spacelift report, a US-based software company. The report further states that women make up less than 1/3 of the global technology workforce. What's more concerning is that around 50% of women in the tech field choose to leave the industry by the age of 35.
I was surprised at is that women come into college, get into the top school, just like men do, right? Come out, probably get better grades, get the job, get into marriage, and then they leave. They have kids. They've got multiple responsibilities, and for them to re-enter the industry is very, very hard. And so what pains me and my team is that there's such a wealth of skill, there's such a wealth of capability, there's such a wealth of desire to do good.
The consequences of tech's gender crisis extends far beyond individual careers. When women are absent from the design and development of technology, there's a risk of creating a future riddled with biased innovations. Imagine artificial intelligence systems trained predominantly by men or for male experiences only. So what can we do to shift this narrative and perhaps foster a more inclusive tech landscape?
Firstly, accelerate connectivity. We must distribute more internet hotspots. One single internet hotspot can power a village and hundreds of girls gaining access to the wealth of knowledge available online. Secondly, we must distribute more devices via which girls can access this knowledge, such as smartphones and tablets. And finally, governments must invest in creating these AI-powered programs that are culture and language specific to cater to the job market that these girls are going to be advancing into.
The tech world is shaping our future, from the way we communicate to how we solve global challenges. But if half of the population is not at the decision-making table, if their perspectives are not woven into the very fabric of innovation, then the question arises, what kind of future are we truly building? It's not about if women belong in tech leadership, but rather what incredible advancements are we missing out on by not having them there.
That last story about women in tech is close to my heart. My concern isn't just about gender equality. It's also about how algorithms we build reflect the biases of their builders. This is about who gets to write the code that will define our lives in this century. Closing the gender divide in tech is also about the emotional intelligence women bring to AI. We need to ensure that AI inherits values that are dear to us. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. AI could make the world a better place. I want to believe we can do that. On that note, I'm going to call it. Have a great weekend, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube and social media. This is Nikita Singh. Until next week, bye-bye.